Did you know that most adults know that generative AI matters, like Copilot, Gemini, and ChatGPT, but they're still not using it in a meaningful way? The problem is not intelligence, it's noise, it's pressure, it's too much advice too fast. In 2026, it does not require mastery, it requires navigation. If you want to understand generative AI, also known as AI like ChatGPT, subscribe. This year, we are going to focus on clarity with generative AI, helping you move from noise to navigation, getting the confusion out of the way, and building confidence using generative AI. In noise to navigation, we talk about this. Really, it's about thinking clearly when a new tool like ChatGPT or other generative AI platforms show up very quickly. Generative AI is no longer new, which is why avoiding it quietly will create some distance. People who use it as a think partner gain clarity, not shortcuts. I think there is this idea that you need to use every tool, like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude. You do not need to use all the tools. You just need to get really good at one of them. Generative AI is actually plain language. You don't need to know coding to ask it a question or give it a task. But typically, the first time you really start using it, you can feel frustrated, and that is really normal. So, my recommendation is that you don't change what you typically do in your work experience, whether you're doing this for fun or you're doing this in your workplace. You just need to start somewhere. Don't change what you're doing, but get comfortable with it. Consider something you do every day. Maybe have ChatGPT create some ideas with you, organizing a thought, or maybe rewriting a sentence or a paragraph or an email. Maybe ask it, this seems too abrupt. Can you make this email feel a little bit more friendly? And use your normal speech. There is no fancy prompting. I think that when you hear these things like the 50 fastest and best prompts or the 100 best prompts for you, those prompts work well for me, but they may not work the same for you. And you can get really frustrated because ChatGPT since 2022 has been working and thinking with me. So it kind of knows how I think. You also want to start slowly and know that this is going to take some time. Practice maybe 5 or 10 minutes a day. Now I'm going to demonstrate three different types of prompts. The first one is going to be a local activity that you can maybe ask ChatGPT to help you with if you live in a certain area. Number two is maybe clarifying and editing a paragraph, a sentence, or an email. And number three will be using ChatGPT to help you plan a local weekend, not necessarily vacation, but something fun to do with your family. Now, this prompt that I'm going to ask ChatGPT is something that I would do. So, whatever you decide to do, maybe it's a local activity, use your perspective. And you can type it right in here, or you can use the mic. And I'm going to use the mic so you can see the demonstration. Assume I live in San Francisco and I would like to find some local mountain biking trails. Consider the difficulty level. I am a very new mountain biker. I started in February of 2024. I do pretty well because I've been riding road bikes since I was 17. So, not too technical, but I do like the climb. I can handle the climb. So let's see what happens. So typically you just hit the arrow button and you see what effect you get. It searches very similarly to Google. The only difference is it'll give you information about for you, it gives you background information and it gives you parks. Now this is just an overview. I would like you to break this down, either put it in a table format, organize it where it's in markdown form in bullets and headers, and do it in different levels and consider the distance. Like I like distance rides, so I want to have an experience that I can either choose to go 20 miles, 30 miles or less, knowing that mountain biking you never stop pedaling because there's dirt involved. So consider all of that. So it gave me like an overview of things, but it didn't tell me what to do or necessarily where to go. But we can just Now you can just add to the same chat. That's what's wonderful about ChatGPT. Now, I just started talking to it in natural language. If you'd like to have a more formal prompt engineering experience, like a task and context, go to one of my other videos, or you can go to noise navigation in the book. The prompt engineering formula is there. So here's what's great. It Notice how well this is done for you, because it gives you um, under 15-mile beginner routes, which is fabulous because I would consider myself a beginner if I was in San Francisco because I hadn't seen these trails before. Once you practice, for example, and then medium distance rides and then long distance rides. So this is all available and it's a wonderful thing to have. So let's try another one. We are making an assumption that you work for a marketing firm and you got this email that basically says you need this information. You need to do this project today. You need a one-pager flyer, 3 social media graphics, and all of this done by the end of the day. Now, I'm sure you probably could, but you have no context. So now you need to respond in an email with context. So here's what you're going to do. You can see the email that I got. And what I'd like you to do is respond saying, we'd be more than happy to support you with the timeline. And we are not quite sure if we can get this done by the end of the day. So, what time can you meet this morning so that we can go over the entire project to see if this is feasible? And do you have 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., or 9 a.m. for the team to meet to see if we can meet your objective of or your outcome of 3 p.m.? This way you can respond in a way that, because if you don't, they might have this expectation, but you don't know if you can get this done. You don't even know if you have the team to get this done. And what if you have 20 other projects? So you need to meet and hear it all out. So here is your email, here's how you respond, and it's clean. That's as simple as that. You can throw in any email. You may want to remove names, that's okay, but then you can actually respond quickly and easily. Here is one more quick demonstration of something that is normal, typical of what you might be doing on the weekend, wherever you live in the world. You can ask ChatGPT to come up with some ideas for you to do a weekend vacation or weekend trip that doesn't cost very much. So let's make an assumption and pretend like we live somewhere. Now, I don't live here anymore, but we're going to go with it. I am in Chicago, and I would like to do some weekend activities that are at a lower cost with my family. There are an adult, 2 adults, and 2 children. We would like to see some scenic things, and we also maybe would like to go ice skating. Now, I'm aware that it is cold, so we have the gear, we can do that, and we need a place that will give us rental skates because we don't have that. So, what are some activities for our family that we can do? The children are 9 and 11 years old, and we are in our 40s, the adults. Give me a list of things and activities for a Saturday and then activities for Sunday. And remember, we probably need to eat. So maybe find one meal that we can have out, and then we will prepare our own meals for maybe breakfast and dinner. So what's great about this is that you can Google all of this and do all kinds of work. But what's great about ChatGPT is it might organize it and give you some ideas. Now, you might even have ideas that you can throw in here. Like, I want to go to this museum. I already knew about this. I know there's ice skating downtown, things like that. So now you can see what's available. Maggie Daly Park ice skating ribbon. Okay. I think that's pretty reasonable. That might be your paid activity. Millennium Park ice skating, lunch out, Portillo's. Everybody needs to do a Portillo's run. Afternoon scenic activity, Chicago River Walk, evening at home. Yes, you can even get a pizza because that's kind of cheap. Get a Chicago style pizza. Okay, I'm planning my brain because I am recently going to Chicago. You can do Sunday ice skating option 2, which you don't need. You could do, in other words, you could do ice skating on Saturday or Sunday. You choose. Midday scenic or cultural stop, Bloomingdale Trail. Lincoln Park Zoo, Chicago Architecture Center, Lunch Midday, Nancy Pizza, or Luke's Italian Beef. You might need to push it a little bit because Portillo's and Italian Beef, Luke's Italian Beef are the same. And then Reflections. Just know that Luke's Italian Beef and Portillo's are the same thing, and pizza on both days and Italian beef on both days is probably not a good idea. Um, so consider maybe the fun cheeseburger place where they kind of yell a lot. And also, I like the idea of giving me options of ice skating on either day at one of those parks. But there are a lot of indoor museums like the Museum of Science and Industry, the planetarium, things like that. So consider that. I like the Billy Goat Tavern, but with the cheeseburger experience, but maybe there's something else we could do as well. So quick things like you can create your whole thing. And if you really wanted to really push it, you can even say, create this as an outline so I can print it. Something simple. It's searching the web. It's quick. It's easy. You notice that I'm using the free version. It's just, even though it might feel like it's taking some time right now, but that's so much faster than AOL. You remember the dial up. It gives you everything. Saturday, you can choose either one. Midday hands-on museum, just a list of ideas to do. I love this. And then you can plan like how much would this all cost? You can say, give me a price breakdown of every activity and put that in a table. And remember to keep Saturday and Sunday options for ice skating. And don't just say Saturday. And that's it. Quick, easy, fun. And ChatGPT did all the work for me. I didn't have to do that much. I still had to have my own thoughts in ChatGPT, which is great. But this is a way that you can organize yourself and have a fun weekend trip. Maybe not every weekend, but clearly this is something that I would do to organize myself and then look at the table. Now you have an idea of how much everything costs, for cost per adult, cost per child, family total cost. Like, wow. And then I could copy this, table it, put it in Google Sheets, or put it in an Excel document, but it's all here. I can check it out on my phone later if I don't want to print it. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Tell me specifically how this video supported you in your generative AI journey. Go to the description and subscribe to the newsletter and support us in purchasing Noise to Navigation on Amazon. Thank you so much for watching.